This is a spring, typically harvested by industrial pen fishing or something, I'm not really sure. If you push on this part of it, it pushes back by how much it has been stretched or squeezed. But what if it didn't? I know that sounds stupid, but physics is all about turning dumb questions into even dumber math problems. And by that, I mean we have to ditch reality and go on the motherfucking Desmos graphing calculator. If we start time up, then you'll notice that the thing on the end of the spring moves in a sine wave, and yes, it does, there's no tricks here. But the restoring force equation we saw earlier also works out for this other setup. Here we have a mass on a rope being swung around a fixed point. As long as we maintain our speed, which means we have to stay on the circular path, which we're kind of stuck doing here, our force and position vectors will stay opposite to each other, and in the same proportion. But we have a problem here, alright? By my earlier definition, these are both springs, and from a math standpoint, yeah, they are. This is the physics world, so our spring and rope have no mass and aren't actually made of anything. So as long as each block has the same mass, which also isn't made of anything and doesn't take up any space, and the systems have the same maximum velocity, then they both have the same energy too. So there's only one thing that these two setups don't share, and it doesn't even matter. Now you can see that the guy on the right here is two-dimensional, while the one on the left is, you never know, I could be hiding an extra dimension perpendicular to the camera, but I'm not doing that. Now our physics textbook over here is going to lie to us. We both know that these two systems have the same energy, but the book is going to be like, no, system A has its mechanical energy split between kinetic and spring potential, but in system B it's all kinetic. But this is a distinction that only exists on paper, because you can split system B's energy down the axes and you get the exact same relationship at that level too. So it's not that these two kinds of energy are somehow different, there's just different names for where the rest of it is hiding when you're only looking down one direction. Keep in mind that energy itself is a scalar. But this is not the end of our story. What if this circular motion is also just a projection of some higher dimensional motion? Probably not. If you tried this on the surface of a sphere, for example, it would just follow circular motion again. What if instead we had a system whose velocity is proportional to and opposite its displacement? This creates that little guy, which I'll call the dampener, because it acts like an underdamped spring without the springing. Of course, we have the trivial zero-dimensional cases, but this is where things get weird. If we have a system where the jerk is opposite our displacement, the position is given by this strange little function, which continue the rotational differential pattern from our spring setup. I wonder why that is. Anyways, let's start time up and see what our mass does. And okay, what the fuck? Yeah, it seems like the jerkinator and anything afterwards is a bit unstable, requiring an infinite amount of energy to sustain itself. On the other hand, anything on the left side of this diagram requires losing energy, and this is bullshit. This whole thing is bullshit. Wait, what do you mean the AP test is in 3 weeks?